baby. 3, 2, 1.
Hello guys, Tune here back again. This time we got a NeoGeo review. This is Bang Bang Busters, or Bang 2 Busters as it's called here. Which apparently there's a lot of games in Japan with double saying. It's like double Bang Busters, they pronounce it in Japan. Like Joy Joy Kid would be Double Joy Kid. So that's a stupid little bit of information for you. But anyway guys, I bought my NeoGeo CDZ from Japan, like I said, come back. I've been downloading some games for it because I've only got about 12 originals, but we downloaded some games. I came across Bang Bang Busters. I never knew this game actually existed, and I've never actually played it before. So this is pretty cool. As you can see, it's a Bubble Bobble type style. I say Bubble Bobble, but Bubble Bobble obviously wasn't the first game of this type. It's just the game that everyone remembers because Chack and Pop came before Bubble Bobble and various other games. But Bubble Bobble is pretty much considered to be like the the grandfather of these games. And I was reading up on this game, and apparently this game was made by Visco and it's made in 1994, but it didn't actually get a release. It was made in 1994, the same as Zoo Papa. But like I said, I don't think this game is as good as Zoo Papa, but it's not a bad little game at the end of the day. But I say it was advertised to be released in 1994. And it didn't actually surface then, and it showed up in a couple of NeoGeo guidebooks for service, for some of the service industry, but it never did. And in 2001, S&K showed a video of this game, showing that the cart was fully playable and the game was complete, which it still didn't get released. And then in 2005, it turned up on the internet, and the cartridge actually got dumped. And it turned up on the internet, so then obviously emulators came along, and that's how this came along. So whoever have done this game have actually converted it to CD, which is pretty cool. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I don't think it ever came out on the CD system. I think this actually is, pretty much a released prototype that got converted to the CD. But I could be completely and utterly wrong in this, and if I am, please correct me, because I'd be interested to know. But anyway, guys, let's close the iPad now because I was reading that. And let's get to the game. Right, basically start off, you just got your normal difficulty, so we're going to pick normal. You get two characters to choose from. As far as I know, they're pretty much exactly the same. They just look slightly different. Right then, in this game, you basically shoot the enemies and you blow them up. And then you can actually fire that off, as you can see over there. But there's a few other little tricks you can actually do. Which will be the second trick where you can fire it off. You can hold down the button, they spin round you, and you've got to let go of the button when they're on the right angle, and they fly off and kill everything. There's also like a charge move, so you charge forward and press the button, it'll wipe out a couple in a go. And you can also grab one of the enemies and use it to get to higher levels. The other thing I like about this game, including like in Zoo Papa, is you can actually pull down on a platform, jump, and you drop to the platform below, which is a really nice feature. In this game, it doesn't play as tight as Zoo Papa, which is really fast playing. This has got a little bit more sort of animation lag to it, if you know what I mean. So that it's not quite so instant the way it plays, but it still plays all right. So basically, there's your little character. As you go along through this game, you can collect various power-ups. So I'll do the charge and throw. Sometimes you can actually get all these characters in one go. So basically, you play through it Bubble Bobble style. You pick up the enemies, you can throw it into every enemy, throw it at the wall, get to the end, and a little bonus comes up. There's lots of little collectibles, like you see in here. You get different points, you get the coins, you get various like carrots and fruits and things like that you can get. Those little spinning blades were there. Oh, damn, you gotta watch. Some of the enemies, they've all got their little different styles in the way they play. Those spinning blades depend on what side you actually throw your enemies at. They'll either go up or down, which comes very useful at the end of the sort of further into the game. There's lots of little jump pads around the place, which you've got to be very careful about because you can pretty much end up killing yourself pretty quick if you pick the wrong jump pad. As you play through the levels as well, you get these little mini bosses. And you can either chuck enemies at them, or you can use your firing to kill them. And if you kill these bosses, it kills everything on screen, which is very useful. I say there's a power-up I picked now. Next power-up will actually make my fire really big. Like I say, you can actually duck down and fire as well, which doesn't, at first, doesn't look like you would actually use it. But it does come in useful later on. Some of the enemies sometimes can be a little bit below you. Ah. As you can see, you've got 4 bars of energy, so you can take pretty much 4 hits before you're dead. Ah, cool. A little Santa guy comes along and sometimes gives you an extra bonus, which is quite nice, including health pickups. Graphics in this game, as you can see, they're quite nice and detailed, to be honest, like, and they're quite pretty. The backgrounds are quite nice and detailed. I don't particularly like the music on this game. I think the music is a little bit on the weak side, but like I said, this game was a prototype originally, so you know, Majors, they never really sort of made really good use of the music on this game. You can see it's nice and colourful. Your main character's got some nice animation as well, the way they run. Some of the backgrounds are quite nice and detailed. The platforms look nice, and little enemies got nice animation. So all in all, graphically, I think it's pretty nice. What I found with this boss as well, if you stand here, you can get a few hits on him before he moves. And then if you move over to here and walk on the edge of the platform, you can get some more hits on it. Right, now I've got to watch is these things, because these things will come down and kill you. Right, so the idea is then you can either go back to the repeating pattern, which works quite well, or you can start throwing the enemies at it. At the end, after killing the boss, you get this little balloon thing that comes up, which chucks loads and loads and loads of coins out. I don't know when you get an extend. I don't exactly know what the numbers are on that. But anyway, that's the first world. You get these little story things in between the levels as well. Obviously they're Japanese, so I haven't got a clue what they are. I don't think you get any more extra moves. I think it's pretty much the same moves again. Right, this stage is a little bit tricky. You got to bounce up here, and then bounce on there. Shoot that. Ah, this punch thing is quite useful. One hit goes right across the screen, kills everything. This power up by here, which for some reason I didn't get, even though I was standing over, is like an invincibility. So it's quite cool. Each levels are themed after different things. This is obviously an Egyptian theme. Those scorpion enemies, but they're a bit of a nightmare. So I'm going to go up here. Yeah, if you get close to them, you hit them once and then they use their tail to attack you. Which is like that. Which is a little bit of a pain. Well, that was lucky. Can be a little bit tricky to hit them with that move, mine, but... No, I don't think you can get extra points by firing at the side of the screen, which tends to be a bit of a staple sometimes in these games. Ooh. If I was fast enough, I could have actually ducked down from that as well. And the best way to defeat this is basically to stand here. That's it, nice and easy, nice and quick. As I say, I've been playing this for a little bit, and it seems quite a decent little game. This bit is tricky. I'm going to try the run. That's it, kill multiple enemies in one go. Yeah, there's a lot of, later on through the game, you've got a lot of stage hazards, like you've got those little spinning sort of spiky balls. They can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. I'm not sure exactly what the O does. Alright, pauses the enemies. can be very handy with these scorpions. Right, what I want to do, I found the best way to kill this thing, if you can manipulate the enemies into the right place, is either stand here, oh damn it, or stand the other side of it. But this is a little bit safer. Like I say, you can't fire super fast. Unlike other games, you can't get a power up that makes you fire super fast either. It's just pretty much that, you know, your firing gets bigger. For some reason, this world's quite short, and there's no boss at the end of it. Right, now the game gets really tricky. The enemies get a little bit harder, and they got a little bit harder patterns. Right. I say this guy is not too hard to kill, actually. See, that was really stupid. I shouldn't have done that. You gotta watch him, he will expensive. Basically, stand by here and he can't hit you. So it's sort of like that about the NeoGeo. Everything's always like really nice and colourful. Right, this is where it gets hard. You gotta watch those platforms because they will kill you. Those enemies will fire that ball at you. Sometimes you gotta shoot them twice because you have to hit the ball to stop it hitting you and then fire at them. So I don't know why they didn't actually release this game. It was just kept as a prototype, which is a bit weird, but there was obviously some sort of reason. Perhaps there wasn't no call for it at the time or something. I don't know. Right, what I want is that. Damn it. We will continue. See, trying to struggle to go for the invincibility then cost me my life on the game. I'm saying this, you get your standard sort of home NeoGeo sort of free credits, or 4 credits, you know, the one you start with and then free continues. As you can see, it's getting a lot trickier now. So that's what I mean about they fire at you. So I managed to get a level 5 on 1 credit, but it's a little bit tricky. I don't think it would take too much practice to probably 1 credit this game. I always get it for that. Right. So basically what you want to do by here, you gotta watch, you can run out of time quite easily by here. And then you don't want to jump and shoot this one really till he starts firing another one of those worms. I could try again up the top. Which might be actually an easier way of doing this. Yeah, that's probably a quicker way of doing it actually. Oh, I can't get back down for the bonus. That's interesting. So on the bonus, you have got to actually stay in the bottom of this level. Right. This boss is a little bit tricky. I haven't really found a good way to kill him at the moment. Oh, that was a bad move. Yeah, this boss is very... I haven't found a good way of killing him yet. There's got to be a better way of doing them than the way I am doing it. Ah. I'm losing all my credits here. Making the pigs here, this one. See, that invincibility would have been very nice. You can pretty much stand inside the boss then. Like I said, I'm pretty okay up to this point, and then I haven't really got that boss down. Oh, sorry, it's level 4 I could... It's tricky, this level. It's really tricky. That's pretty much Ghostbusters, isn't it? Oh. Well, that's pretty much how far I've managed to get on this game so far. Yeah, I say this game, as far as I know, was a prototype, and it didn't come out on CD, unless I'm completely wrong, and they did actually release it on CD. There's a few other games like this on the NeoGeo, Zoo Papa being pretty much my favourite one. That game just plays really fast, and it's really cool. You punch the enemies on that one and pick them up and throw them, which is pretty cool. Well, you don't throw them, you've got these like little guys you pick up and they jump on and beat them up, and then you sort of punch them and throw them. And you got Nightmare in the Dark as well, which is also a pretty nice game. Pretty nice music on that game actually as well, pretty sweet looking. But yeah, this one, so what would I give this out of 10? I think, guys, I go over 7 out of 10. I don't think it's an amazing game, and it's not a crappy game. It's just pretty reasonable, you know. And if you get a chance to play this on an emulator, or play on your NeoGeo CD, or even on, I don't know if someone made like a cartridge of this, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't pay hundreds of pounds for it anyway. But yeah, you know, give it a try in an emulator or something. It's not a bad little game, and if you had someone else to play with you, which unfortunately I don't, because no one loves me. There you go. You know, this game might actually be pretty good fun in 2 players. So 7 out of 10, guys. Hope you enjoyed this NeoGeo review, and we'll be back with more games next week. So I shall see you then. Right then, bye now.